What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you assume Taylor Swift had already claimed every imaginable sphere of entertainment dominance, brace yourselves because this week's explosive discussion with Travis Kelce on his New Heights podcast revealed something monumental, and it goes beyond romance. It's a shrewd power move poised to catapult both of them into an even more hysterically famous tier, likely exactly what they intended. Before we plunge into today's tale, hit subscribe and stay tuned. Today we dissect Swift's newly unveiled 12th studio project, the life of a showgirl, the calculated brilliance of her New Heights appearance, and why this pair is on track to become utterly unavoidable. By the conclusion, your entire view of their union will be shifted. First up, what unfolded this week. Swift appeared on New Heights, the podcast hosted by Travis and Jason Kelce, and over 2 hours of conversation, a trove of revealing glimpses emerged. We discovered she's fixated on sourdough and peruses baking blogs, a charmingly relatable detail. We learned the pair spent the summer caring for his 73-year-old father, Scott Kelce, after he endured quintuple bypass surgery, giving us a rare, intimate portrait of family devotion. The business angle is where it gets really compelling. Swift imparted to Kelce how to avoid absorbing speculation about their bond. Imagine that. She's coaching him in media strategy and managing public perception. This isn't just couple goals, it's strategic partnership goals. Then came perhaps the most surprising disclosure, tied to her record-shattering Eras tour. She revealed she had never allowed herself to feel, "You've arrived. You made it." And this is a woman with 4 Grammy Album of the Year wins, who shattered innumerable records and masterminded one of the most ingenious business strategies in music through her re-recording initiative. But Eras altered that dynamic. It evolved into the first tour in history to amass $2 billion, and that's when she finally felt successful. Yet it became apparent she isn't ready to release that sensation. Merely 18 months after her prior album, and 10 months following the conclusion of Eras, she's dropped the news: the life of a showgirl. It's clear she's incapable of rest and still deciphering her unparalleled achievements. So why is the announcement of this album a stroke of strategy genius? An industry newsletter designated it Record of the Day, extending a tongue-in-cheek congratulations to Taylor Swift and everyone at EMI for what will by all accounts be another #1 album. The success almost feels preordained. Last year's album, Midnights, The Tortured Poet Department, became the first to surpass 1 billion streams in its initial week, clocking in at 1.76 billion. That's operating on a scale most can't fathom. Swift remains one of the final monocultural pop icons, and could probably have kept Eras touring for years and still sold out shows nightly. But here's what adds intrigue. Swift displayed surprising self-awareness about Midnights during the podcast. She admitted it was too verbose, too expansive, too melancholic. That record was steeped in catharsis, chaos, and raw emotion, born from what she described as a humiliating moment involving Maddie Healy from the 1975. For Showgirl, she craves clarity and restraint. Just 12 tracks that offer behind-the-scenes glimpses of life during Eras, with melodies so catchy they provoke envy for their effortless appeal. She openly confessed, keeping the bar really high has been a goal for a long time. She created this project with Swedish pop powerhouses Max Martin and Shellback in Stockholm amid the European Eras tour leg, the very duo behind blockbuster hits like Style, 22, and Blank Space. Her first album without them, 2019's Lover, marked what many viewed as an end to her imperial pop phase. Since then, she pursued more subdued, experimental avenues with collaborators like Jack Antonoff and Aaron Dessner from The National. But what really showcases Swift's strategic acuity is her seemingly attuned sense of cultural trends. She's recognized that her brand of polished, adult-oriented pop has ceded some cultural dominance to artists like Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, and others who generate rowdier, more unfiltered anthems. As one industry publicist put it, she can't outtrend those artists because she's a millennial pop star who has so much to protect. The younger acts can take greater risks. There's a creeping sense that Swift is playing catch-up, that she's heard the critiques and is recalibrating. Remember the backlash over Midnight's 19 physical variants, accusations of fan exploitation and environmental recklessness. With Showgirl, she's limiting variants to a more conventional industry standard, showing adaptability and strategic evolution. She likened her recent phase to art school years, and now positions Showgirl as an effort to reclaim musical ubiquity, the kind where kids belt your lyrics at birthday parties. She even remarked, "My business is making music and taking care of my fans, and I monitor what they want and how to entertain them. That's my job," adding that eras function like a 149 night focus group. Meanwhile, Kelce isn't merely a passive partner, he's actively establishing his own empire alongside Swift. His New Heights appearance wasn't just romantic, it was a deliberate brand-building maneuver. Their origin story is gold for content creation. Kelce tried to meet Swift after an Eras show, failed, then confessed on his podcast that he wanted to meet her. She was intrigued and made it happen. And not coincidentally, Kelce's GQ cover emerged the same week as Swift's podcast appearance. The episode crashed from demand and racked up 13 million views on YouTube within 24 hours, not counting other platforms. The advertising impact is enormous, especially as fans anticipate more revelations. Here's the savvy part. At 35, Kelce is rumored to be retiring after the upcoming season, his 13th, which just so happens to be Swift's lucky number. He's future-proofing post-football, admitting to GQ that he'd lost focus chasing other opportunities, and with his performance stats down over the past 2 seasons, his off-field ventures are exploding. That's what the publicist called a diary of a CEO play, future-proofing their lives. He won't be an NFL tight end forever, and she won't be a pop star forever. They're becoming a combined powerhouse. The parallel to the Beckhams is obvious. It's fascinating to watch both shape their public images live. After Swift's fallout in 2015-16 over the Kanye-Kim debacle, she successfully repositioned herself as a literary-minded artist fighting for music rights. Now Kelce's image is being sculpted through 2 years of dating Swift, and it's being carefully curated. He told GQ he's become much more deliberate about how he portrays himself to the world, which, as the publicist observed, no man has ever said those words. That's pillow talk operating through a business lens. Kelce is positioning himself as the open-hearted romantic unshaken by Swift-level fame. Unlike her previous 6-year private relationship with Joe Alwyn, this union unfolds in public and strategic ways. Their dynamic, 2 burly athletes rooting for a pop superstar, is purposely endearing. They even lean into meme culture about Kelce's intellect. When Swift referred to folklore as esoteric, he retorted, "It's so hot when she says big words." A clever move that frames him as lovable, non-threatening, and addresses criticism subtly. She labeled him a vibe booster, like a human exclamation point, implying he can elevate your sentence if you let him in. Kelce's post-football brand is essentially everybody's boyfriend, not just Swift's. Then it takes a politically intriguing turn. Kelce has ties to Trump-supporting family members, but that could serve Swift strategically. She recently endorsed Gavin Newsom, or was it another Democratic candidate? And his presence gives her an in-the-room, left-wing frame of reference, a dual appeal, as the publicist noted. The couple exudes absolute confidence. As Swift croons on Alchemy from Midnight's, the tortured poet department, "I'm making a comeback to where I belong. Ditch the clowns. Get the crown. Baby, I'm the one to beat." These blossoms warm the benches. We've been on a winning streak. That streak is unshakable. Next year marks the 20th anniversary of her debut album, and fans expect another re-recording to drop. The Showgirl follow-up will be her 13th album, loaded with symbolic significance. Rumors swirl about an Eras documentary accompanying the concert film, extending that IP further. Before Swift sings even a note from her new project, and before Kelce hits the field again, they've already become the reigning champions of the coming season. This is more than romance. It's a real-time construction of a strategic empire, and we're all watching the blueprint. What are your thoughts on Swift and Kelce's strategic teamwork? Excited for the life of a showgirl? Or think she deserves a pause? Let me know below, and if this breakdown altered your perspective, tap like, subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.